Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone, rule web, and a great example to the younger brothers in the truth. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. And Lord willing is edifying. And this another video from Jason A. Smith. I guess every week he do a video on what's going on in weather for the past week, and I'm gonna keep it rolling, man. When he drop one, I'm Lord willing, cause I can say I'm gonna do it, and I forget to do it, or just don't get the opportunity, or the Lord leave my spirit somewhere else. But let's get into it, man. And if I ain't say it first and foremost, when we got all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash, and double honors once again to our apostles and elders of great millstone, rule well. Shalom, Lord willing is edifying. Let's get into it.
Welcome back. Well, an asteroid the size of an SUV flew closer to the Earth than any other space rock ever recorded. This all happened Sunday morning, and NASA didn't see the asteroid until it was gone. Researchers say the rock came from the direction of the sun. Now, even if it had crashed with Earth,
I got a precept from right there. It's Luke chapter 21 and verse 25. And there shall be signs in the sun, and in the moon, and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations, with perplexity, the seas and waves roaring, men's heart filling them with fear, and looking for after those things which are coming to the earth, and the powers of heaven shall be shaken.
likely would have broken up in our atmosphere.
Yeah, and the date of arrival is election eve. And I was reassured we do not need to be wearing helmets that night. But Heather, remember, this is 2020. It's the year of unpredictability.
Anything could happen.
Who knows what might happen?
I mean, that's
And 2020 is the year of prophecy, man.
scary. That's the scary part of all this.
It is.
We just don't know what's coming next.
It is only August. We are still in the middle of summer, but it's pretty safe to say that 2020 has been one of the most exhausting years that anybody can remember. There's been a brutal pandemic. There is a brutal pandemic. There are global protests. There's a nail-biting American election. Surely nothing more can happen.
Much more is gonna happen. Talking about nothing more can happen. So like, let me get this. It say, well, nope. I'm gonna go to second Exodus. This second Exodus chapter 9 and verse second Exodus chapter 2. Chapter 9 and verse 1. It say, and he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the sign pass which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people, ain't that what she talking about? It say earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that it is the very same time that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. Hold up, let me back a little bit. Cause she says she don't think things can get worse. Shit.
A brutal pandemic. There is a brutal pandemic. There are global protests. There's a nail-biting American election. Surely nothing more can happen.
Yes, surely much more is gonna happen, man. It's gonna get way worse, man. Hey, ain't nothing coming to you Americans or you people of the world, man. Nothing but disaster, man. Look at E over there with the green tie, neck twisted, looking stupid, man. Cause it's finna get worse for y'all, man. Guess what? Y'all going into captivity, man. But before y'all go into captivity, y'all gonna be met with ICBM missile, intercontinental ballistic missiles, man. Nuclear warfare, man. That's what's coming to you Americans, man. You proud ass Edomites.
Well, that's what we thought until we saw this, that an asteroid is heading to Earth and could collide with us on November the 2nd. That's the day before the presidential election.
Let me get this again. It say, and there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars and upon earth distress of nations. And that's going into these uproars and stuff, man. You know, these different conflicts, uproars, with perplexity, the seas and wait, the sea and wait, and the waves roaring. Men's hearts shall fill them with fear, and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth, and the powers of heaven shall be shaken. And we seeing this right now, man. These people terrified, man. They try to fake smile and act like everything all cool. But these white people, man, these so-called white people, these Edomites, they know that shit ain't right, man. You know? They know something ain't right, man. You know, 2020 has been the worst year ever recorded in history, and it ain't gonna do nothing. Wait till you see 2021, man. You think 2020 bad? Wait till 2021 hit, man.
Yeah, this is not a joke, by the way. This space rock is expected to come closest to our planet just hours before Americans choose whether to vote for Joe Biden or Donald Trump. It is almost too perfect a story to be true.
Now, two freak weather stories for you, because in Australia, Antarctic air reaching the southeast of the country has triggered snowfall across several states.
We're being told to get ready for damage.
There go another one. They say they know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are out of course.
And disruptions as the strangest weather in 15 years hits New South Wales.
Yeah, because the
towns to the west of Sydney in the Blue Mountains have been blanketed by late winter snowfall. A few months ago, the region was battling bushfires, but this has been a treat for locals and visitors.
From Bathurst to Orange, Canberra and the Blue Mountains, a large mass of Antarctic air will bring the winter trifecta to New South Wales: snow, freezing temperatures and wild winds.
What's unusual about this system is the snow level down to 500 metres.
Wild winds will be back again, up to 90 kilometres per hour gusts. The clean-up continues at Gosford, where scaffolding came down in yesterday's westerly, as the state's far north battles the same natural enemy, causing a different problem. Bushland burned in the summer's fires, now decorated with winter's best surprise, 10 days out from spring.
Back to the Gulf Coast, could be experiencing something very rare. Two major storms making landfall just 48 hours apart. And this is the strongest hurricane.
This is Isaiah chapter 29 and verse 6. It say, thou shalt be visited of Yahweh of hosts with thunder and earthquake and great noise, with storm and tempest. And we know tempest is hurricanes, tornadoes, cyclones, you know, circulatory wind systems that are storms, man, basically. It say in the flame of devouring fire.
To hit this part of the Gulf Coast.
And they say that Hurricane Laura was the strongest hurricane hit the Gulf Coast, man. You know,
in history. And take a look. Video from Lake Charles. Powerful winds tearing apart skyscrapers there.
The Category 4 hurricane, just shy of a Category 5. One of the strongest hurricanes ever to strike that part of the country.
Hurricane Laura rammed the Gulf Coast early this morning as a Category 4 hurricane.
Watch as this RV was flipped onto its side as the storm moves in. Widespread catastrophic damage expected to be revealed. You can see power lines just littering the streets and igniting. Power surges leading to this massive fire. Roofs ripped clean off buildings. Trees snapped like twigs. This communications tower mangled. The monster storm bringing maximum sustained winds of 150 miles per hour.
This is the eye wall. You can see how visibility is going to zero now.
This is where the hurricane slammed into the coast with winds up to 150 miles per hour. And from the air, it looks like roofs were ripped off of homes and walls were collapsed.
This is Nahum chapter 1 and verse 3. It say, the Lord is slow to anger and great in power, and will not at all acquit the wicked. It say Yahweh have his way in the whirlwind and in the storm, and the clouds are the dust of his feet.
Almost a third of Bangladesh has been hit by floods triggered by the monsoon rains. Millions have been forced to flee their homes, and yet they've had no hope of returning as that heavy rain continues. The floods started a month ago, and they've killed over 160 people.
At least 5 people have been killed in flooding in the north of Turkey. The town
And all these floods just fucking shit up over there across seas, man. They say on Psalms 107 in verse 25, it say, "For he commandeth the raise of the storm. He commandeth and raiseth the stormy wind, which lifteth up the waves thereof." You know, so the Lord is in control of these floods as well, man. You know, here go another one that say Proverbs 8 and 29, when he gave the sea his decree that the water should not pass his commandment, when he appointed the foundations of the earth. Let me start at 28. I'm gonna start at 27. It say when he Proverbs 8 and 27. It say, when he prepared the heavens, I was there. When he set the compass upon the face of the depth, when he established the clouds above, when he strengthened the foundations of the deep, when he gave the sea his decree that the water should not pass his commandment, when he appointed the foundations of the earth. So, hey, the only way for the waters to overflood the rivers, the only way for the waters to go past that beach line, is the Lord to command it to, man. You know, through different storms. That's the only way it will, man. You know, other than that, hey, the water will never pass that decree that the Lord commanded it, man. Unless he get the go ahead to pass that, man. You know, that's why you have all this devastation over there from these floods by the Black Sea, what we looking at now, and these different rivers all over. It's gonna keep going. Let's play some more.
of Darrell is amongst the worst affected.
But this year, record downpours are testing the limits of the world's largest hydroelectric project. Water levels are at their highest since the dam was constructed 14 years ago, and locals are worried.
I feel scared. I've never seen the water level so high.
Weeks of torrential rain have flooded the Yangtze and several tributaries, forcing hundreds of thousands from their homes.
The Three Gorges Dam is 181 meters high. That's about the same height as this 52-story white building behind me. Extreme weather has seen water levels inch closer to the dam's capacity. On Saturday, the volume reached 167 meters. That's about the same height as this building's 47th floor.
Taking 2 decades to build, the Three Gorges Dam is one of the few man-made structures visible from space. But this year's unusually heavy rains have laid bare its limited ability to protect millions from
What she
losing
said, this year's unusual heavy rain. So this is unusual to them, man. The dam, a fucking damn near overfilling, man. You know.
their land and livelihood.
Well, have you got anything nice on the inside of the papers today?
I started to show a couple of pictures actually.
Oh yeah, go on.
And now I've lost the one I want. There you go. Look at that. I think this is an extraordinary picture. I'm trying to find it. It's in China. It's a large city in China, and it looks like something out of Independence Day, doesn't it? This enormous, ominous-looking cloud. Parts of China, apparently.
She says some kind of cloud that looked like something off Independence Day. But this Acts chapter 2 and verse 19, I will show wonders in the heaven above and in the earth beneath, blood and fire and vapors of smoke, man. So the Lord is showing all kind of wonders in heaven, man. And it could have been a chariot, man, because the Lord said he make up the clouds his chariots. So those chariots, UFOs, what the world ignorantly call them, can cloak themselves as clouds, man. You know.
Battered by heavy rain in the past 24 hours. And doesn't it look a little bit like, do you remember Independence Day? I love that film. There it is at the top. There you go.
Does look a bit.
And it's a film theme, isn't it?
Afghans in Parwan province rescue their loved ones any way they can. Rain and flash floods.
It said over 200 Afghan and Pakistani killed in flood, man. You know, and this stuff ain't being reported on the news. They talking about goddamn left wing, right wing, whatever that shit called, vote for Biden, vote for Trump, all that old goofy shit. But they ain't talking about what's happened, what's really going on in the earth, man. You know, it say South Asia floods, over 200 killed in South Asia flood, over 200 killed in Pakistan and Afghanistan. 200 people, that's a lot of people dead in the flood, man. Hey, the Lord ain't playing, man. He say every morning do his judgment cometh to light, man.
One province rescue their loved ones any way they can. Rain and flash floods soak the impoverished rural northern region. All over neighbouring Pakistan, it's a similar scene of devastation after days of torrential rain. In the largest city, Karachi, polluted water from clogged drains flood streets, spilling into homes. Prime Minister Imran Khan says troops are being sent to help pump out water from flooded neighbourhoods.
This massive storage bin was no match for last week's derecho.
This came crashing down. I've never seen anything like it.
Hurricane-force winds plowed through Dennis Campbell's Iowa farm and much of the Midwest last week, leaving behind hurricane-like aftermath.
Leaving a path of destruction stretching more than 700 miles from eastern Nebraska to western Ohio.
The derecho, which means straight in Spanish, sped across 770 miles straight through the Corn Belt. Have you ever seen anything like this?
No, not as far as the widespread nature of this wind event.
And the effect on Iowa's...
Say a wind event. This is Psalms 148 and 8. It say fire and hail, snow and vapor, stormy wind fulfilling his word, man. You know, now this windstorm destroyed a whole bunch of crops, man, leaving thousands of people without power. You know, up there in the north, the Midwest, man. A fucking windstorm, man. Tearing shit up.
Crops is catastrophic. The derecho wiping out an estimated 10 million acres, up to 40.
Wiping out 10 million acres, man. You know, of corn and soybeans, as it's finna say, man. And you got Jake hollering about they got 28 about 28 acres, man, and wait till they garden grow, man. Hey, man, the Lord can send one storm through there and wipe that shit out, man. This said 10 million. Hey, this windstorm destroyed 10 million acres, man. And all you got is 28, and you bragging like you showing up doing something, man.
43% of the state's corn and soybean crops.
Now in the brutal effects of the derecho that ripped through the Midwest 5 days after those 100-mile-an-hour winds.
The downpour moved into Iowa Monday, leaving hundreds of thousands without power. Officials issued travel advisories as the storm downed trees and blocked roads. Pummeled by the high winds, a child's clubhouse started rolling like a tumble.
Monday's fast-moving line of powerful thunderstorms catching many by surprise, slamming the Cedar Rapids area with destruction.
The Atlantic storm season runs until November, and this one has the potential to be the busiest season ever. The U.S. National Hurricane Center is predicting there could be up to 25 big storms this year, double the average.
The volcano at Mount Sinabung in Indonesia is erupting again for the third time in less than 2 weeks.
Pillars of smoke.
peaks. You can see a column of ash rising a kilometre into the sky in this footage, which we sped up a little. Officials are warning people to stay away, and so far there are no reports of any injuries.
We begin tonight with millions of Americans in the path of multiple natural disasters.
Historical wildfire emergency. This is Luke chapter 12 and verse 49. It say, I am come to send fire on the earth. And what will I if it already be kindled? So Lord coming with fire, but shit, it's gonna be fire before you get here, man. You know, let's keep going. Historical wildfire emergency over there in California, man. This shit is historical, man. 2020 is up, man.
That deadly wildfire emergency in California.
Stunning pictures of what was likely a terrifying drive through the Hennessy area of Northern California. These flames are part of a series of wildfires sweeping across the region. They're the largest the state has seen.
Second and third largest fires in state history are expected to grow as new thunderstorms produce dry lightning and gusty winds.
And more than 1 million acres have burned. That is more than 4 times larger than the area destroyed by fires in a typical year.
California is under a historic fire siege with more lightning expected tonight.
I've never seen something like this in 34 years fighting fire.
And its residents are suffering. Tens of thousands have been forced to leave their homes.
Overnight, the sprawl of more than 500 California wildfires surged in a relentless march of flames. Hardest hit, the north, where the state's largest fires are churning through wine country, incinerating homes, reducing whole neighborhoods to piles of rubble and ash.
Oh no. Oh no, no.
Tonight in California, nearly 1 million acres scorched. 2 of the largest fires in the state's recorded history raging out of control.
Torching houses and turning more than 1,500 square miles into an apocalyptic hellscape. And with new fires being sparked by lightning strikes and gusting winds every hour, the flames are moving so fast they are outrunning the thousands of firefighters that are trying to beat back the expanding inferno.
A small silver lining peeking through all the smoke, but residents here know a painful reality that fire season is just getting started.
The lightning strikes that caused the fires, along with the high winds, have created the perfect conditions for these flames. And with similar weather predicted in the coming days, they'll likely continue to burn.
In the Express, more than 100 billion rogue planets could be floating around in our galaxy. They're actually called rogue planets, not attached to any star. So it basically leaves them free to drift through space because they're obviously not in a system, you know, like ours is in the solar system. The mission plans to count them, predicts that they will outnumber the stars in the Milky Way, shedding fresh light on their evolution.
Are we at risk?
Of a planet colliding with ours because they're free and they haven't got any sun to be connected to? I don't think so just yet.
Good.
I think we're all right.
There is an asteroid that is projected to cross the orbit of the Earth, but it is not probably going to hit us.
All right, so how big of an asteroid are we talking about? Is this the movie Armageddon come to life?
So not quite. So this asteroid in particular is about 2 meters wide. So it's about the size of a refrigerator. And that is actually a pretty small object.
So why is everybody getting so up in arms about this thing?
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with, you know, current events. Because in particular, this asteroid is projected to have its closest approach on November 2nd, which is a big night. For a lot of reasons.
All right, Carissa, if it does hit our atmosphere, something that size, what's going to happen to it?
So believe it or not, objects of that size tend to mostly break up in our atmosphere. Our atmosphere does a really great job of protecting us. It's very thick, it's very dense.
It could all happen now because I didn't think there was going to be a pandemic. I didn't think that there would be killer bees around. Who knows?
And Abel tells us another much bigger asteroid will pass by Earth on Election Day itself, but that one has 0 chance of colliding with Earth. It's nearly 4 million miles away. It's just literally all we need right about now. Right?
What else?
What else
honestly,
you got? Come on.
What else? It's good to see people got a sense of humor about it still, though. Keep an eye on it.
And that's a video from Jason A, man. You know, let me go back to second Exodus. It say, and he answered me and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he hath made. Verse 3, therefore when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people, then shalt thou well understand that is the very same time the Most High spake, that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all things that are made in the world have in the beginning and the end is manifested, even so the times of the highest have plain beginnings and wonderful and powerful works, ending in effects and signs, man. You know. So with that, Lord, when we edifying, I want to get all honor and glory to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai by Hashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone rule, well being a great example to the younger brothers in the truth. Peace and blessings to the hopefully lit, Lord, when this edifying. Shalom. Kwam Yashala in the Bible. Shalom.